Hi everyone, it's Lydia, and today I have two projects that I would like to share with you guys. The first one is a handmade card, and the second is a mason jar slash stick pin cushion. Looks like so. And if you'd like to know how I made this, I will have like a list of supplies that you will need, and I will explain how you make it. I can't do a tutorial because I don't have another mason jar. Well, I have one, but it's huge and it's my husband's, and I don't think he'd appreciate me using it. Okay, so here's my card, and I'm probably gonna send this to the winner of my giveaway that I have up right now, my Christmas daily. And on this card, I used the papers are Que Sera Sera from that collection. I used a large doily and a chipboard dress form that Karen sent me. Thank you, Karen. I have this turquoise lace trim, and I tied it into a bow, and then I topped it off with a cameo from Jolie's. And I didn't want to put too many embellishments on the dress form because I wanted the cameo to pop. Plus, I don't like overdoing things anyway. You guys know me. And then right here, I put these little florets, fabric flowers from Suha Fuha Slippet store. And then I stamped the sentiment, "Have a great day," and I added this cute little pom-pom trim down here. And I also inked around the pages and the doily with Martha Stewart inks. It looks like this. I used stem green and ocean. And then on the inside of the card, I just covered it with some more paper, and I added a smaller doily. So that's my little handmade card. It turned out so cute. Okay, now for the mason jar, I needed a little pin cushion to put the pins that Karen made for me. So I figured I'd make myself a little pin cushion, and this one stores my pink buttons. So for this you will need, and I'm going to put all these supplies in a Yoo-hoo box so I can quickly get it out of the way when I'm explaining how to put it together. You're going to need a mason jar. Not any kind of jar, but a mason jar. This one is like way too huge. This is humongous, so that's why I wouldn't use this on my tutorial. Plus it's my husband's, and I don't think he'll appreciate me putting flowers and chenille on it. So you're going to need a mason jar, and I'll explain what a mason jar is in a minute. You're going to need some polyfill, or you can use cotton balls. You're going to need a 6x6 square of fabric. I used chenille on mine, but I'm going to use this to demonstrate because it's easier to work with. I'll show you why. So for mine, I used a piece of chenille. That's what it looks like. So pretty. You're going to need some paint. On mine, I used Making Memories Blue Raspberry. You're going to need a paint tray for your paint and a paintbrush. You could also use a plastic lid if you don't have a paint tray. You're going to need a rubber band. One rubber band. A good pair of sharp scissors to cut your fabric and your trims and ribbon. You're going to need a piece of lace trim. I used wide, but you could use a shorter one. It doesn't have to be this wide. Whatever trim, whatever color you want, whatever fabric you want. Then you're going to need some ribbon for your bow. And again, choose your own color. It could be whatever ribbon you like. I was going to use seam binding, but I ran out of pink. So crunched, whatever. Seam binding would look really cute, but I ran out, so I have to use what I have. You're going to need a glue gun. There's no sewing involved. You're going to need some either really skinny ribbon or twine or anything that's going to fit through your buttons. Through your button, because you're going to need one button to make your little top here. See the little bow? So you have to be able to fit it through those tiny holes, so you're going to need some cording or something that's going to fit through that. If you want that look, you don't have to put the button top on it. So here's a button, a nice pretty button for your top of your cushion. 3 tiny flowers. I used 2 white and 1 pink. And you're going to need some stick pins to decorate the top, or you could just add the pins you've already decorated and made. And I think I covered everything. Oh yeah, stick, of course. You're going to need some pins. I used my Road heart pins on my project. Okay, so let's get started. This is really simple, ladies, so don't worry that it's not like a full tutorial. So you're going to need a mason jar, and you cannot use a regular jar for this project. And the reason is that a mason jar comes in 3 pieces. This is used to make preserves. Okay, like jams and stuff like that. So you have your jar, then you have what they call the flat lid. That's this piece here. And then you have your cover lid, your top lid. Okay, so it's 3 pieces. You cannot use just a regular jar. Well, you can use a regular jar, but you have to go watch another tutorial on that because it's a whole different look. But for this one, that's what you're gonna need. So first, I'm gonna show you what to do, how to prep your jar lid. First, make sure that your bottle is clean and dry, and remove any labels if you had any. Mine had some residue from glue that I had to wash off. So make sure it's nice and clean and dry. And then for your lid, that's what I'm missing. And oh, here it is. You need, I'm sorry ladies, you need a sanding block or some sandpaper or a nail file. And this comes with prepping your lid. So because I painted, as you can see here, I painted my lid. That's where the paint comes into. So once your jar is clean and ready, you don't have to worry about this piece. You can paint it if you want to. I didn't bother. And then this piece here, that's what I used the sandpaper for. I sanded this piece down, and the reason I did that was so the paint would hold on better and it wouldn't chip off. So just give it a really light sanding, you know, you don't have to go crazy. And then I gave it 2 coats of paint. So give it 1 coat, let it dry, and then give it a 2nd coat. Okay, so you're done with that. Now you're going to make your little cushion top. And for that, I'm going to use the cotton material because the chenille, if you're going to work with the chenille, it's really difficult to work with. It's extremely thick, and you really have to use some muscle when you're cutting the excess. So for demonstration purposes and, to make this go quickly, I'm going to just use a piece of cotton fabric that I have. And that was an old shirt that I was throwing out, so I just cut that. So you're going to take your polyfill and take a nice handful and just scrunch it into a ball. Make like a little mushroom kind of. See? You can see what I'm doing? It's like a little mushroom top. Okay. Once you have that, don't worry about, what it looks like, how round it is and all that right now. And then kind of center your fabric. I eyeball it, but if you want to be, measure it, whatever, you can do that also. Put your fabric around your polyfill and then give it 1 little turn. And that's going to give it like those little gathers. Okay. So my polyfill is in here. Here's my excess. And then at this point you could sew, but I'm lazy, so I'm going to use my rubber bands. And I'm just going to tie around the bottom of the fabric. Okay. So now you're going to have your excess here. That's where your sharp scissors come in. Cut off the excess. And I didn't use the chenille because I would have been here like all day cutting. The chenille fabric is so thick. Although I love the way it looks, it just has a beautiful vintagey look. So you could, you can use chenille if you want. Just I'm warning you, it's a pain in the neck. So it looks like so. And at this point, you can push it down a little bit, work on it. Try to get it like a little circle, kind of round. That's your little cushion part. That's where you're going to put your stick pins. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add your I hope I'm in camera, ladies. I'm sorry. Add your hot glue Add your hot glue here. Don't cover the little edge here on your cover. Okay, so you add your glue in there, hot glue, and then you put your little ball on there, your little cushion part, and press. And just work on it so it goes kind of like around, you know, you catch everything. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over to the one that's gonna fit, because this is a small one. It's not gonna fit this jar lid piece. You can tell right away when you're working with it, like, okay, that's not gonna work. So this is the other one I pre-did. Here's my chenille top, see? Here's the bottom of the flat lid, and there's my pincushion part. Okay, now here's the top lid. Okay, so now you're like, wait, that's not going to fit in there. Yes, it will. Just push. You can even pull on the top and just work it until it catches. See? And then at this point you can also just fluff it up a little bit. Okay, so once you have this done, and remember this is on the other one, it's painted. It kind of looks nasty right now, but on the one you're working on, it's painted. It looks pretty right now. So then you take your jar, and this is where your ribbon comes in. Take whatever ribbon you want, and I'm just going to do this quickly because, you know, it's not going to look nice anyway when I'm done, because this is not the project that I wanted to work on. So take your ribbon and then just tie a bow. I did a double bow on mine. Just tie a bow around the neck of the bottle. Okay? So that's done. There's your bow. Okay, next you're going to add your lace trim to your cap. Okay? And I used this beautiful lace, this white lace from Suha Fuha. That's where I purchased it from. And remember, this is already painted, so don't worry about the way this is turning out. This is painted. You're going to add your glue to the very tip of your jar, of your lid. Don't get it in there. Right on the very tip, a skinny little string of glue. Okay, so pretend I have my glue gun. I'm adding my glue. And you know this dries fast, so work in sections. You add your glue, and then you add your trim right to the edge. Okay, so that's dry now. Let's pretend. Flip it, go to your next section, add some more glue with your glue gun, and again put it on the edge. Okay, so it's going to look like so. It's going to look like this. So now your lid has your cushion, it's painted, and it has your trim. So now it's all ready to go into your jar. Okay, so remember, this is the flat piece of the lid, and you glued your cushion on. You popped it into your cover, and now you're set to go. And then you add your 3 little flowers, however you want, wherever you want. And then on the tippy top here, you're going to take that large button. You're going to string your ribbon or whatever you're using. In my case, I'm using this tiny thing. I don't know what the heck it is. Okay, you're going to make a little bow. I'll do that really quickly right now. So just add it to your button. Oops, that's not going to work. I hope you guys are understanding this. If not, post a question and I will answer you. Okay, so put it through. I'm just cutting it right now because it's like really long. Okay, pull it through. Make your little bow. And leave your loops like, you know, whatever size you want. If you want them small, if you want them big. So there's your loop. It's a little bow, and then just add a little glue and pop it right on top of your cushion. So this cute little project I saw on a website. The website name is lilybeanpaperie, and she had a jar similar to this one, but there were no instructions to it. But I fell in love with it, and I was like, oh, I can make that. I have a mason jar. This is going to be so easy. But no, because of course there were no instructions, so I was like kind of winging it. And this is the mistake that I made, and I'm going to tell you ladies so you don't repeat it. Although I just showed you how to make it correctly. When I made mine, instead of making my cushion and then gluing it on top of the lid, I wrapped my material under the lid. So guess what, ladies? Now I cannot use the lid. I can't use it. I cannot close. I can't, turn it and close it and lock it. I can only set it on top, which is no big deal because it's not going anywhere. And it holds my pretty buttons, and I'm happy with it. I love the way it turns out. But that's the mistake I made, and just to let you know so you don't repeat it. So here's my finished project. Remember, we painted the lid. We added the ribbon around the neck of the jar. You add your trim on the very tippy tip of the lid cover. Here's the little cushion part. Here's the button, and here are the stick pins. And now I can add the beautiful stick pins that Karen made me. It's a pretty little purple one with the butterfly. If you can see that, I'm going to put that one right there. And here's the angel one. So pretty. Thank you, Karen. I love them. I will cherish them. So there's my project, ladies. If you have any questions, I hope I was clear. This was like my first kind of tutorial, even though it wasn't really a tutorial because I wasn't going to use this massive thing. It's just too big. And the mason jars you can find at Walmart. They have the smaller jars. This one is the one I used is a vintage one, and I actually found this in the thrift store. I just lucked out, and I think I paid $1 for it. So you can see the difference. I mean, this is the one I made. It's nice and small and dainty. It's about, let me measure it. It's about, with the cushion, it's like 6.5 with the cushion. This humongous thing is 8. And it's like really, really wide. So this is just too big and too gaudy. So find yourself a cute little dainty mason jar, and hopefully you'll give this a try. So I hope that was helpful, ladies. Thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe, post the comments if you wish. And remember, if you have a question, if hopefully I didn't miss anything, just leave me a comment. Thanks everyone. Bye. Have a great day.